Bo, for the way that last year's game in Kansas City ended, for you guys to come out and win the way you did tonight, what does it say about the type of team that you have, and what do you think you guys proved tonight?
Yeah, it was ironic. It happened the same exact way it feels like. We just got a resilient team that just believes we're going to win. And at the end of the game, when it's close, that belief goes a long way.
Yeah, Bo, the Chiefs have owned this division. They've won it 9 years in a row, and yet you guys never seem to be intimidated. Or what was your attitude about the Chiefs when you first joined this team?
They were, at the top, and if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And if you're, some say if you're scared, go to church. But I think it's good to, if you're going to play this sport, if you're going to play this game for too long, you can't really be intimidated, or there's really no sense in going out there. If you don't believe you're going to win and eventually get to the top, then I feel like you just waste so much time, throughout the week. But we work hard, and we've put together a great team to win games like tonight, and, it paid off.
Bo, to your left, what did you think of the atmosphere? Sean said this was the loudest the fans have been since he's been here. Did you see that as well? Do you think that helped play a part of the game?
Yeah, I thought there were some critical moments to where it got really loud. Obviously a home field advantage is second to none against a really good team like that and against a good offense. So when you play at home and when you have a crowd factor like that, it's huge. It can be really important. It can play a difference. It can play a big role. And tonight, they were definitely loud at times. It was, it was rocking.
Bo, it seems like we ask you every week about the defense, but thoughts on the defense and J-Mac specifically with what he did?
Man, they just play hard and tough, and they may give up. I think you can just take a few drives. They may give up an explosive, like miss out on a tough penalty, but, man, they bow up and they just, if you're going to get in the red zone, we're going to keep you to a field goal. If you struggle, if we're going to get you behind the sticks, you're going to have to punt. And VJ, he does a great job with his scheme, and then our guys play well in that scheme, and they just play really hard. And they're resilient, and I think they're really confident, and they know that they are good. They know that they can rely on the front, and our guys just get after the quarterback, and it makes it tough on the opposing team.
Well, you guys do a really good job of keeping things in perspective, but seeing how loud the crowd was, and like Garrett Bowles is screaming as he's walking into the tunnel, just so fired up. You can see what it means to your teammates, guys that have been here. Now that it's over, like, what does this win feel like, having gone through the grind to get it?
It's very rewarding because you spend so long all week, studying and scheming and finding ways to move the football against a tough team that historically, hasn't given up many yards. And so at times I felt like today we just had timely third down execution, and we had timely plays that were explosive. And against a team like that, finding explosive plays is one of the best ways to get some confidence, get some juice, and have this belief that you can do it. And I feel like every drive we had some kind of play that was a chunk play. It extended the drive, it extended the yardage, and we may have had a few plays or a few drives where we had a lot of plays, but within those drives were some chunk plays, and you didn't have to go 3, 4, 5 yards a pop, and it was they didn't feel like long drives, but it was good. It was good to execute the way we did, and overall it was a great team win, and it's very rewarding.
Bo, Sean talked about all the noise that's kind of been around this team, and I know you said you delete social media, but when you're able to go out there and play that way after all that noise, is that rewarding for you?
Yeah, and people are always entitled to their opinion. They're always going to say what they think, and that's also what makes our country great. But at the end of the day, you just got to block it out. You just can't involve yourself with what's outside the building, and because if you do, man, it'll just bog you down, and it'll get you distracted, and you start worrying about things that you shouldn't be worried about. But everybody's always going to say something. For some reason, we're always going to be talked down upon, and that's okay.
Yeah, Bo, the second half seemed to be a shootout of third and longs. You kind of talked about them. Just about hitting the third and longs today, especially on that touchdown drive.
Well, we called the same play probably 3 or 4 times, I think, and we hit, I guess, 2-3 different receivers on the play. So, Troy's long catch was great. Cortland had 2 intermediate catches that were off the same play. So we just found some stuff that was working, and our guys were getting open. And at the end of the day, 3rd down and 3rd and long is all about windows and timing. And, the last one was escaping and, a little bit of a scramble drill that he just saw and worked back out, and it was perfect timing. I kind of saw it before it happened and knew he was going to do that. So that's just, at this point when you start getting in the season, you start having this rhythm and feel with your guys, and, it pays off. It pays off to know where they're going to be, and they're just a resilient group, and they're tough, and they run every route hard, and they fight for the football, and they play hard, and it's just good to see those guys make plays in critical moments.
Hey, Bo, on that last throw to Franklin to set up the field goal, that wasn't the primary option, was it? Was it something? What can you walk us through that play and what you saw?
Yeah, it was a 1 high, 2 high side. Happened to get man-to-man, and they, with their safeties, they were kind of cheating with Cortland, and the next man option was Troy, and breaking the huddle. It was like one of those, hey, they've bid on this out route to Pat several times, and be ready for the football. And sure enough, they got man. Safety was in the middle of the field, and he got up top, and the guy's back was turned and threw it, and he made a great adjustment in the football.
Oh, you guys are 6-2 in one-score games this season. That wasn't the case a year ago. What do you think the biggest difference between now and then is?
I don't know. I think that's would be something interesting to look into. It's hard to say exactly, but I think it's honestly. It's a non-physical factor. I think it's a belief or a mentality or a grit, a toughness, something that we've just built as a team, and we just kind of have this belief that get it to the end of the game, we're just going to find a way. Or I feel like, it starts with having a defense that they're going to stop them. At some critical moment, they're going to stop them. We're going to have opportunities after opportunity. And, as an offense, there's going to be a moment at the end of the game where you're going to have the football and you're going to have a chance to go on a drive, get points, or win the game. And sure enough, our defense got to stop. And, we went down and scored. And special teams played a huge role tonight in keeping us in a one-possession game, having good field position to where in a moment like that when we needed it at the very end, we were able to get close enough for a field goal.
Bo, obviously no Pat and no Alex, but now no JK. What do you think of how your guys on offense helped step up and pick JK up?
Yeah, well, there was no flinch from that group. I felt all week those guys were, locked in, ready to roll. When you're picking up a guy like Jalil and he's the one that's filling in when you've played so much time with him, and he's just done an incredible job as a team player, working his way through the season, knowing his moment's going to show up, not complaining one time. I'm sure he was battling thoughts between his ears, but at the same time, he never showed it. He showed up to work every day. He's given us a great look for the defense. He gives us great explosiveness when he's helping us offensively, and then he scores a touchdown, when he gets the call. So RJ does a great job just playing his game, playing his role, not having to worry about too much. Just be RJ. You just get the ball and you make guys miss and you go score. And then TB's done a great job all year on 3rd down. So those guys have done really well, especially this week when they've had a tough week. Lose a critical player like JK, lose a leader in JK, but also, they have good camaraderie in that room as well. And they're all young, which is exciting. And I know they're going to do just fine.
RJ's throw to you. Did you almost want him not to throw it?
Well, yeah. I mean, at that point, in practice, it was more open than that. But I knew when the ball was in the air, that safety did a good job, and I was like, I'm not going to let this be intercepted. So, I tried to show off my DB skills. But at the same time, those plays are gimmicky. It's either there or not. And worst case is like, they throw a pick or something. So when the ball was in the air, I knew it wasn't going to be like open. So just get the ball on the ground and then go to the next play.